Hey there, comic friends and fiends. It's Rob here in front of the Great Wall of Comics, and with me, Chris, the comic vet. How are you doing today?
I'm good, brother. Thanks for having me again. Oh, that's that's priceless. It gets me every time. Oh, that's so good. Okay.
That's all right. We can be all we want. There's nobody watching right now. That's the beautiful of
Oh,
this.
okay.
Absolutely zero
They'll,
eyeballs on the screen.
they'll come. They'll come. Ha!
I see what you did there. Hold
All
on.
right.
So today we're going to dive deep into the first of my graded boxes. And I see the graded boxes are upgraded. They get, instead of the white cardboard, we have the fancy BCW boxes there.
Very nice.
Only because you got to start somewhere, so you figure some way to split them out there. So um, today we'll go through on Slab Hub as we go through dive deep into Rob's Fat Stacks of Comics. We're going to go into this first box of graded books. I think there's some interesting books in here. I should tell you, for those people who might be interested, there aren't any stupid amazing keys, but they're all, they're just signed books. And so a lot of these signed books, there's going to be a lot of PGX books in here, because I'll be honest, so not only last year did I use PGX for a fair amount of grading, but for a lot of these books, I just, unless they're signed, I've said, and I will say again, COAs don't mean anything for the most part. There's a lot of COAs out there that they just simply say that some company asserts that this is a legitimate, this signed by the person who we think it says it is, but they don't reference who's signing it. They don't reference the book. They don't reference it. I can take that piece of paper and stick it in any book, scribble on it, and all of a sudden now it's got a COA, and so it doesn't mean anything. So sending a book off and having it authenticated, now there's still, is authentication 100%? No, it's not. But it's definitely adds a certain layer, though, of reliability to it, that it's at least a good forgery.
And there
if
are plenty of them.
Yeah, if it's not straight up legit.
Yeah.
So whether you send it to PGX or EGS, I know they both use a computer, and I'm sure that the Beckett, whatever, same thing. There's basically, it's computer software is taking samples and comparing against known entities, and then giving them a probability of it being authentic, and then based on whatever their threshold for authentic percent of reliability, then they'll deem it authentic. It's essentially how that process works. So anywho, so I then send off a lot of stuff that I get signed. I like to buy raw books that are signed, and then I will then send it off, because if you're sitting there, if you go online and you go to, like, hey, this exclusive is coming out, and you can buy the signed and slabbed 9.8, whatever, and it's whatever, maybe it's $140 or $120. The reality is, if I can buy the signed book for 30 and then send off and spend $20 to get it slabbed, well, I can do the math, right? And especially if it's not something that is going to be that big of a deal. So, anyways,
It essentially could be 2 for 1 basically for the one book that you get done. You could essentially buy two and end up with 2 issues.
right, and
Right.
now, especially with like CBCS, now that they don't have that pink labal. I mean, that was the longest time, my biggest thing for a while, why I was using PGX for my authentication. Well, granted, it wasn't yellow. They have this gold label. We'll show, when I go to show this first one here, but the red/pink label that CBCS was using for authenticated for a while, I wasn't keen on, but now that it's yellow, it's I definitely have steered a lot more of my work that way.
Yep.
Anywho, so I thought we'll get into it, even though we're still sitting here, you, me, and the wall. So people watch this on replay.
Yep.
So this first one is an Alex Ross. This is part of 3 covers that were part of that were sold together as a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, that were signed. So this was all for Amazing Spider-Man #1, this being volume 5.
Yep.
volume, yeah, the current volume. So featuring the first appearance of Kindred inside this book. So this set of 3 books was limited to 100 sets
Wow.
of 3. All right, so this is Amazing Spider-Man #1.
Fantastic.
Obviously, an homage to AF-15.
Yep.
This is just a beautiful book there, and this is what I'm talking about here. This is that kind of gold color
Yeah.
label that PGX uses for them. I mean, I still have on the back. I throw in there. I retain my COAs, and
Right.
I just put them in in a poly bag and tape it to the back. I've noticed some people who've said I talked to somebody who said, "Oh yeah, I asked them to encase it in there." Well, I don't want that encased inside there because now it blocks the back of the book right here. But
Yep.
I just tape it and keep it together. That way, if I do go to sell this to somebody, I say, hey, look, you know what? Here's a COA. It's got a COA and it's been authenticated. If you still don't trust it, well, then I can't help you.
Hold that up for a sec, Rob. Let's
Yep.
just appreciate how beautiful that is.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we all know Alex Ross is in a league totally by himself, but my God, because that book is so scarce, a lot of people have actually probably not even seen that before. The backstory about that one, Rob. Did you go to the con itself, or did you pick that up online?
I got this directly from Alex Ross' website.
Okay, yeah, that is just. That's special. I think special is the only word that we can say for that. That is just incredible.
So there were. I think there's more than 100 copies of this that exist.
Right, but that's the con exclusive.
There was 100 sets.
Right.
So to have because the wording on the COA is signed set of 3 limited to 100 sets containing covers A, B, and C. So to have all 3 covers as a set is the limited factor. But it's much like the other day I picked up my Amazing Fantasy 15 Gleason that was signed by Gleason through Dynamic Forces, and it's numbered of 300 because there's only 300 that were sold through the Dynamic Forces thing, but obviously there's more Gleason's things. Anyways, so this is the second cover. This is cover B. No, this is cover A of the the set.
Right.
So they're not necessarily here in A, B, C order necessarily, but
that's an iconic cover as well. Yeah. Now to me that's I would say to me that's pure Ross right there. That's you know that's not a quiet homage to anything. That's just pure Ross. Yeah.
You know what it reminds me of too is it reminds me as a kid watching the Japanese Spider-Man. Just like,
That's a great cover.
And then this is the B cover of the lot there with him fighting the Sandman.
Yeah.
But again, just nobody's better. It's hard to find a better man than Ross at doing covers.
No, just he's in a league by himself. That is just incredible.
All right, let's pull this one out here. Let's see what we got. This one. Oh, okay. This is Amazing Spider-Man #5. This is a New York Comic-Con 2018 exclusive wraparound variant, Philip Tan. It's super busy. So we got Spider-Man in the classic red and blue there on this side, and then on the back side, you got the in the black suit costume. Interestingly enough, the Philip Tan, this was sold as issue 5, and then the cover was sold separately as issue 6, but to get them as the wraparound was only with both covers was only available there. And it really kind of confused me because here's your trade dress here on this side, right, which is on the back side. I initially thought, man, PGX sealed this thing backwards, but then but the staples are on this side, so it does open, so it is in here, correct? This is the front of the book in this particular case. So this book is one of those weird ones with the wraparound where the trade dress is on the back of the book rather than the front of the book.
Right. I think it's just Marvel flexing how beautiful those 2 covers were, and they decided to make it a con exclusive. But that's
and then the
Tan is a great artist.
Yeah, I mean his signature got lost. I mean, first when we got it, I was like, "Where's the signature?" And it's like it's so busy, and so you sign a black with that.
Yeah. Silver probably would have been the better color, but still, that's
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? At least
That's
you got
right.
a tan. Yep.
All right. I love this cover.
Oh yes.
Oh, Mary Jane Axon, the amazing Mary Jane, J. Scott Campbell, the
I love it
90s.
too.
Yes. Looking at this, looking at her man's spider buns of steel.
New York's
But
butt right there, eh?
oh my God. That's right. Captain America might be America's ass, but
Yeah.
that's Brooklyn's buns right there.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. That's a fun cover. Yeah. Yeah. No one draws MJ like J. Scott Campbell. Let's be
Oh
honest.
my
Yeah.
goodness. This is going to be a quick one if we don't have people watching, asking questions, making comments. I'm feeling really rejected, man.
No,
It's all
no.
right.
There's love out there. There's love out there.
So
Ooh.
this is Batman Adventures 12. Oh, this is a reprint. This was the Wizard Con or Wizard World Con box exclusive. This is signed by Bruce Timm. And so this is the black and white variant, exclusive variant of it. This was in 2015 was when this one came out. So for a while, actually, I got several of these different. There were several different cons where they released different covers of reprinting Batman Adventures 12.
Yep.
And for the longest
Mhm.
time, that's what I had for my Batman Adventures 12 was a series of these different redoes with different covers until I could finally bring myself to acquire the actual
Yeah,
thing.
I can remember that run that Wizard World was doing with those Batman Adventure 12s, and then after that they kind of moved into doing a million and one covers for the reprint of The Walking Dead #1. So every different con that Wizard World was doing, I think there was like 7 or 8 across the continental United States, and any given year, and they were throwing up Walking Dead covers with different artists. Remember even Todd did one, if I'm right, either the anniversary 100 issue or one, and I remember Neil Adams actually doing one as well. But yeah, there was Wizard World always had their own exclusive for every damn show they were doing.
Good. You know what's funny is I'm looking at this. I'm thinking my show on Thursday was we were talking about covers, artists, and
Yep.
whatnot on
Yep.
Sidekicks.comics, and I'm sitting there going through like, hey, look at this. It's Alex. We were talking about this guy. Oh, we were talking about this. Here's another one we mentioned. Todd Middleton
Oh, yeah.
did some just amazing Batgirl covers. And matter of fact,
Josh Middleton. Yep.
Yeah, Josh. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Aside from I think the only Batgirl covers I have are really some of his that I managed to acquire, that were signed. And these were books that I acquired them. They were raw books signed that then went ahead, like I said, grabbed the COA and get them authenticated.
Yeah.
Joshua Middleton. Yeah.
Yeah. I truly believe he is the greatest Batgirl artist of all time. There was one cover that he did where it's there's a cover, I believe it's issue 33, where it's a white background and it's just like a profile of her face. I saw it. I saw it, fell in love with it, and I had to go out and hunt it down. And I got myself a 9.8 copy of it.
I'm trying to
as
remember
well.
whether I have that one or not.
Yeah, I think it's 31. It's 33 or 31. I'm pretty sure it's one of those two. But yeah, it's quickly become iconic in my opinion. But yeah, he's fantastic too.
All right, this next one. So we're gonna get into a run of Harley Quinn books here. This is Emerald City Comic Con. Harley Quinn Rebirth issue 1. Following the theme of Emerald City Comic Con, obviously you got the Emerald City in the background there, the Yellow Brick Road, Harley Dorothy,
that's a great cover.
Power Girl now waking up from nap, Cat Girl. This one here signed by Amanda Connor and Jimmy Palmiotti. So that is a great. This is it's Emerald City Comic Con exclusive. Yay!
Very nice.
But, it's just a rub on the bag. I thought for a second I felt a crack on it or something.
Oh yeah, that's a great cover. I've never seen that one before.
Oh yeah, that was a fun one. That was one I posted last month during the cover challenge. Say Goodbye Yellow Brick Road.
Yeah,
that was.
Yep.
I know what you've covered up for that. Harley Quinn issue 1 Rebirth signed Amanda Connor, Jimmy Palmiotti in a 9.9 PGX.
Wow. Now we're bringing some heat.
So I have we're gonna get like several books here. So the great thing I love about Amanda Connor and Jimmy Palmiotti, aside from the art and everything else, is you can send, if you have a book that they've done, you can go to their website, paperfilms.com, where they're doing all their different stuff. But you can, if you find it, it's buried on there. You can do custom signature stuff, and you can select and send items to them to sign. It's $25 for the pair of them to sign something. So I have sent several Harley Quinn books and whatnot that they've worked on off to them and get them signed. Now just sign in COA. Now they do have some stuff now. They just recently announced that they are doing some stuff signed and pre-signed books that then are CGC'd. They do not yet have the ability for you to send in, have it witnessed, and then CGC'd for you. You have to buy one of their pre-done ones. But
yeah.
Anyways, for me, again, these are not books that are ever going to be worth like a ton of money. So they're my PC stuff. I love Harley Quinn. Grab the first 5. I have like the first 5 issues here that of the run, sent them all off, had them all signed, sent them to PGX, $13. They slab it, or plus whatever it costs to authenticate. Good to go.
Two of the nicest people in the comic book industry that you'd ever meet. You know, but besides the fact that they're married and they do everything together, even if they weren't individually, they're just very nice people.
Yeah. So here we go again. Harley Quinn, issue 2, 9.8, signed Amanda Connor, Jimmy Palmiotti.
Very nice. Very nice, sir. Very nice.
Issue 3 in a 9.9.
That's a fun cover. Bring that a little bit closer, Rob. That's a fun cover.
Yeah, then this is like I think it's one of the introductions of Nateman's hot dogs and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, that's a nice play on Nateman's. Yeah,
she on her jacket here it says Miracle Blow, manure grade.
yeah.
Nateman's hot dogs. Okay, this one's also issue 3. So this is issue 3. This is the non-Amanda Connor cover. So this book, hold on, is signed by Amanda Connor, Jimmy Palmiotti, Bill Sienkiewicz, Brett Blevins, Alex Sinclair, and John Timms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. So 6 times signed.
In a 9.8, and that's, pardon me, but that's a Bill Sienkiewicz autograph on there.
Yep.
You want to talk about legendary artists? My goodness, Rob, that's a home run book you have in your hand there, man. Very nice, very nice.
So this was done. This was done at a con. I actually bought it like this, 6 times signed.
Wow.
So and for next to nothing.
Oh. Those are the best stories.
I think I paid $40 for this. It was like a no-brainer. It was like, yeah.
Are you kidding me? Like, oh my goodness! You just mentioned that $25 can get you both Amanda and her husband Jimmy, and then you got
4 more.
You got 4 more, including a Hall of Fame artist, in my opinion, and Bill Sienkiewicz. I'm not even sure if I'm pronouncing his last name wrong, so please forgive me for those who can't pronounce his last name the right way. But wow, that's like, oh, wow, that's a book right there that you should make a video for by itself and tell that story. Like, this is a day when I dealt with someone who was high on drugs.
It was an eBay find.
Oh my goodness, what is wrong with people? $40. Okay,
I think it was an auction and nobody was really interested. You know, they just sometimes what happens is it's a book like that. All that you get captured sometimes is Harley Quinn issue 3.
Yeah,
and so people, who's looking for that, right? And unless you're doing a broader search or looking, you're not going to stumble across it necessarily. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Good for you.
All right. Harley Quinn, issue 4. The Amanda Connor cover. Again, signed Amanda Connor and Jimmy Palmiotti. And 9.8.
You can tell they just had a lot of fun together working on
Oh,
Harley. Eh? That's just another fun cover.
it's
Yeah,
funny because you sit there and you read stuff with interviews with them and stuff, and they talk about how much fun they had doing it, but
yeah,
at the same time, they also talk about how they felt like they kind of got sidetracked doing it. And
yeah,
okay, I
yeah,
guess you can do both, but
yeah.
and then issue number 5. What's that? Yep, another 9.9.
Wow.
Yeah, it's funny is that I could talk, I could go on a whole nother thing now about when people say, yeah, it's a PGX 9.9, and you're right, it is. It's a different grading scale, and for those of you guys, and since this is Slab Hub, I'll educate a little bit. One of the things we recently learned in an interview that was done by the head grader over at CGC is that they start at a 9.8, and then you have to have plus functionality essentially to go up and get there. Whereas CG or PGX starts at a 10 and then takes things away. Just from that nature of where you start at is going to mean you're going to get more in that range that happen to occur. So different grading scales. We cannot compare apples to pomegranates. They're very different. They both might be red and round, but the rest of
Yeah,
what's the rest of what's inside is completely different.
right.
So I think that's the biggest thing that I think I dislike when I hear people. And sadly, this community is a great community, but I feel I have felt many times because I had used PGX for an extensive period of time. People would talk down to you like you were an idiot for using them, and it's like, look, I understand it's not the same thing. I understand maybe you're not going to pay as much for it as that. That's all fine and dandy, but understand, as long as you understand, I'm not saying that these are equal necessarily. So, but at the end of the day, they are still it's still a third party who has assessed the value. And if I tell you, if I'm selling that book, whether it's a 9.9, a 9.8, or whatever else, and you are a third part, you're the buyer, and you now know it's been certified this, whether or not you think a 9.9 from them is the same as a 9.9 on CGC doesn't matter. What you do know is that a third party has said that book is in mint condition.
And a real autograph. Yeah,
Right. And now it's
right.
right. And now it's for
Yeah,
you and I to decide where's the price that we're going to agree
exactly.
to, right? Because
Exactly.
ultimately comic book values are not, a book isn't worth $1,000. It's only worth what somebody's willing to pay for it.
Exactly.
All right. Back into some more books here. I keep wondering if something's wrong with our feed. I see like one eyeball pops up, like somebody's watching and then they go away. It's like nobody's watching today. It's like, am I streaming or what? I almost want to take a look at the stream. Harley Quinn and road trip special. You get
Yes.
all of them in bikinis on the cover of a classic car. What is not? I mean, I just want to sit there and stare at that right there.
Yeah.
Poison Ivy, Catwoman, and Harley Quinn in bikinis. It reminds me of the old Marvel swimsuit editions. You know,
Yeah. Yes. Wow. Yes.
just
Yeah.
to just to see what was there going on.
Right.
But anyways, let's throw that off to the side here, and let's grab the next book. And this is the same book, just a different cover. This is the New York Comic Con exclusive cover. Again, signed by the two of them.
Very nice. Did you get it? Does it look like you got a remark on that one?
No. It's
Okay.
just, are you talking about like the line art stuff or in the back? It's just part of
Uh,
it's just like sketched with only the
okay.
foregrounds colored in.
Gotcha.
But yeah,
Okay.
I could
Yeah.
see how that would have been pretty badass, like to have like just them on the cover and then like remarks background.
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool.
Then that book would graduate to the wall behind you.
Yeah, this one is, I like this one. So this is the Harley Quinn 25th anniversary special. Now, when they did this book, there were a whole bunch of different covers, different artists. This one is the Joe Benitez cover. Joe Benitez, best known in my mind for Lady Mechanica series, and this was book, I actually ran into them at the local San Jose Comic Con, and he was selling the book and signed it, and along with it, he included a print, which I just have thrown in the backside, which is the original artwork that he had submitted, but got rejected by DC for being too risque, because her jumper, you can see here, is unzipped down past her navel, and on the finished, they had it just to her brassiere. Look at me using fancy words like brassiere.
Really? So a character who's been over sexualized for the last 15 years might
be the poster child for being over sexualized, other than Power Girl.
And then because it's unzipped the way that it is, that's too risque. Fascinating.
So that's the story that he told me.
Right. Yeah.
Anyways, but so he signed both the card and the comic. Now the card I kept separate; it's not in there with it, so it's not certified or whatnot. And I guess I could send it in now, get it as an art certificate in an art label if I wanted. But
but aside from the controversy that cover is, that's actually a very fun cover as well. Yeah. That's pretty sharp.
I really have. This is what I like about a lot of these Harley Quinn covers. I like some of the better ones when they're just fun and games, and that's and not trying to be too serious. And that was just kind of like the. All right, we're about halfway through this box. All right, here we go. Something a little more normal. Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man, a J.S. Campbell exclusive.
Oh.
As you can see right down here.
Yep.
This is cover A. There were 4 covers. You can see on the back. I have cover B too, but I've never got it slabbed because it needs I need to spend some time with a presser.
Yeah.
It has some damage to it, but this first appearance of Rebecca London and the Mason.
So what's the story on this book? Did you buy that in a 9.8 from Campbell, from his website, or is that an eBay find?
This is an eBay find.
Very good. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Oh yeah, this one.
Oh yes.
So this is Star.
Yeah.
Issue 1. This is the Ji Hung Lee.
Yes.
Signed by Ji Hung Lee. This one I got directly from his website. Yep. Actually, it's the second copy I have. I have another copy, and it had some minor damage on it. And contacted them, and they replaced it and told me I could keep the other one. So I probably just need at some point send it off to get it pressed and see what comes back from it, and have 2 copies.
That's a little bit of a spec book you have in your hands. And for those who watch this video on the replay or who are joining us live now, Star is the hot rumor to be the villain in the next Captain Marvel movie. And so just a heads up for everyone who's watching. That is what Rob has in his hand there. A quiet spec book, in my opinion. Yep.
Very interesting character.
Yep.
I actually read this series.
Yeah.
And found it somewhat interesting. Neither, she's kind of like not intentionally meaning to be bad or whatever, and just a lot of scared. Like all of a sudden, you get the reality stone is in your body, and you have these powers, and it's kind of scary. People come in and trying to control you and everything else. All right, and this is a Dynamic Forces. I don't know if you've ever heard of this title before.
Can you give me a little bit of a backstory on it, please?
Yeah, it's kind of like a mythology, space opera type of thing. They made a couple movies. It did fairly well at the box office, and even launched a small toy line that was pretty successful, surprisingly. So I mean,
it may have been after my time. Okay.
Yeah, but
yeah. So let all joking aside, I can remember when Marvel got the rights to do this again, and that iconic cover came back. But let's just for a second, everyone who's watching this, appreciate that we got a 9.9 there, and that it's signed, and how beautiful
This is
that cover is.
John Cassidy cover
John Cassidy, yep,
signed by John Cassidy.
yep, and I believe he did the interiors as well, and yeah,
Yeah, I mean this was actually
yeah,
great. It's like when this came out, when I missed out initially on it, I ended up getting a third print,
okay,
which is my raw collection, and so
yep,
later on to be able to acquire this as a signed copy as a first print, I was super happy. And
yep.
actually, what's really funny is I got. Oh no, it's not. I don't know if this book was part of that lot. I ended up getting like 5 Dynamic Forces Star Wars books, all at one time from one guy. He had them as separate sales, but I bundled them. Worked a bundle with him where I paid like $130 for 5 signed books, and every single one of them came back in 9.8, including one of them is Dr. Aphra #1. It was a Ken Hazer sketch cover.
Yes, yep.
So,
Oh, Rob, wow, we're going deep into Slab Hub here, like just you having your way with all these people.
So this next book, I think I teased you last week with this book. So this is Star Wars still. This is Amanda Connor, Star Wars.
Wow.
And does that those set of eyes that look like daddy issues written?
Yep.
Dad, you blew up my home planet.
Yeah, that's wow. Yeah, a lot of people don't realize how beautiful her work can be aside from Harley. Like, yeah, it's yeah, that's that's a great cover.
Their Painkiller Jane stuff is just great. And
yep.
All right, this I remember. This was definitely part of the that bundle. So this is another Star Wars variant cover, signed John Cassidy of 77, signed these books, whatever. So this is a dynamic. This cover is exclusive Dynamic Forces cover.
Yep. Wow. Yeah. Wow. That's fantastic.
And then the same cover in the sketch cover variant, which I really am opposed to calling the sketch cover. I say it over and over again. This is really line art. It's not a sketch cover.
Right.
But whatever we call it, it's a coloring book page.
Yeah. Yeah. The uncolored version. Yeah.
Give it to your child and let them play with it.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. That's
all right. This is, I think, yeah, this is volume 3 Star Wars issue #1. So this is the current
run.
Current run. This is signed Charles Soule.
Very good. All right. Now he I think the work that he's done on that when he left DC and came to Marvel and started taking over the Star Wars run, he's done an incredible job writing that Star Wars line. A lot of people need to pay attention to what Charles Soule is doing ever since he left DC.
We're almost out. Another Star Wars, but this one is an Alex Ross.
Oh boy.
So this was an exclusive for the Alex Ross store. This one was not, you couldn't do it anywhere else. So you could actually still get this book, I believe, on Alex Ross's website.
Wow.
It's not that expensive either, I mean, because it's a his store exclusive or whatnot. But it's a great book. I mean, it's Star Wars and it's Alex Ross.
There's not much you can say. It's just something you can appreciate.
Exactly. Speaking of things you can appreciate, nothing like a beautiful woman on a cover.
Wow.
Tyler Kirkham,
Yeah.
Mary Jane Watson on the Black Spider-Mobile.
Right. Wow. If I'm right, I believe there was like that's a one of three different covers where all
There's actually
the
four,
there's four. Okay. All right. I thought
and one of them was a secret cover,
right.
and the secret cover was
The Black
this one,
Cat.
Black
Hmm.
Cat in costume, because
Wow.
you had this cover. I think the second one was this cover in a Virgin, and then
Yep.
there was Felicia Hardy in a like torn crop
Yep.
T-shirt like this, and
Hmm.
then this was the secret one, which was Felicia Hardy in costume with Spider-Man in the black symbiote
Yeah.
costume.
Right.
Yeah, doing the sup yo. So there you are.
Yeah.
That was a book. This was a book that was I get this from there was a actually I kind of miss it. KRS Comics had a little Facebook group called the Underground, and they would do monthly live sales on their Facebook group. They haven't done any this year, which has been really kind of sad. But they would throw up some books, KRS books that they had left over, or some of the stuff that they had from these guys had from their own collections and whatnot, and they were selling. And that was a book like just grab like that COA book, and then have fun with it.
Yep.
I mean, I got my I actually got two books that are coming back to me from CGC right now. My Savage She-Hulk one and my um, Shazam 30. What are the first DC appearance of Black Adam?
Oh.
Those books I got from that same company, or from that same live sale. For each one of them, I paid less than $100 for. Um,
Oh man.
the Savage She-Hulk, I actually paid like $60 for it, and then I think I paid like 75 for the Shazam book. Um, so
Wow.
I know what the grades were when they went to PGX, because sent them PGX for grading. They both came back 9.2s.
Yep.
Um, now, but they were holdered so screwed up. They were actually what kind of stopped me from using PGX for a while, and they're coming back from CGC from a reholder, which, in case you guys aren't familiar with, reholder, you can take, or actually, well, I should say, not reholder, come back from crossover grading. So crossover grading is an option on the CGC website. If you have a book that, like, and I won't show off the one I'm about to, if you have like this book, maybe it wasn't a signed book because you probably wouldn't do it with a signed book, but if you just had a PGX book like this and you send it to CGC in its encapsulated form, don't break it out, and you select from your grading the crossover grading, it's only it's like only $14 to have it graded, essentially,
Wow.
instead of the usual. So you get a discounted rate, and then they'll crack it open, and then they're going to do a regrade,
Yeah.
obviously. So we'll see what those grades come back uh, when they come back from CGC. So this week, Undiscovered Country, number
Wow.
1.
Wow.
Now, this book isn't as cool. I wish I had the double signings on the con exclusive one I have that's worth about like 12 times more than this cover is. This is just the regular A cover, but
Yeah.
still, Scott Snyder and Charles Soule,
Hmm.
double signed book.
Very nice. Very nice.
That's the U. So we must be down to, yep, 2 books remain. Wolverine, number 1, Ben Piercy.
Fantastic. Now that's a great Wolverine cover.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
a Midtown Comics New
Yeah.
York Comic Con exclusive.
Okay.
Just kind of coming through the mist or whatever. It is a great cover.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot. So Ben Piercy signed.
Very, very nice.
All right, so that leaves us to one left. Since we're going in alphabetical order, It must be an X book.
Zatanna. No.
It could be. Who knows? It's not. X Force #1, the Ji Hung Lee, with featuring X-23 there.
Right.
Of course, what's really kind of funny is this cover, of course, was lifted from a previous X-Men book where she was in the traditional Wolverine costume.
Yep.
Then put it into the X-Force, and then did another variant of this exact same book for X-Men, I think it was, where she's walking away from. So you get basically, if I was to turn it over, actually that would be kind of cool to slab it front and back like that, so you could see like the front. You can watch her come at you, then you can watch her walk away.
Yeah. And if anyone at Marvel's watching this, now you have an idea.
The wraparound cover, that's exactly front and back. That'd be interesting. So so this was a Ji Hung Lee directly purchased thing, which is kind of funny. Is so Ji Hung Lee is his books are facilitated through Golden Apple, so you end up with a Golden Apple COA on the back. But this is exactly what I'm talking about, how useless this is, which is this was actually a little bit more, at least because it's from the Ji Hung Lee. It's got Ji Hung Lee's signature on the COA, but you can see it doesn't have a certificate number. It doesn't reference what book it is. At least they're referencing who the artist that supposedly signed it is, and they're giving you a potential sample, I guess, of signature to compare it against. But there's nothing that prevents me from using this. I mean, so the fact that it's thrown in there is just for that. But anyways, record time today. Again, probably because I feel so sad. Nobody came to watch us live.
Well, here we are.
I got nothing to say. I don't know. Why you no like me? Why you no likey? No. Next week, we'll dive back into the regular box of books. And for anybody watching this on the replay, this is the box that Miss Muffet would run away from.
Yay.
Freaky Louie, if you watch us on the replay, you want to be here next week.
Right.
Because next week's box looks crucious. Hey, welcome. Next week's box, all Amazing Spider-Man. And half of it is all volume 1. Or actually more than let's see, there's 25 books, and it's not a full box right now because this one is one where I've kept a little bit of space in it. But so there's just 25 books in the box, of which 20 of them are volume 1 books, and the rest of them are, there's like some volume 2 and volume 3. That's it. There's no more recent books than 2014 in there. And this has got, I will tell you that half the box, well, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 14 out of 25 are sub 100 ASMs.
Well, you heard it here first, everyone. Just remember, some of the greatest creators in the history of comic books has worked on the legendary ASM run. So
that's
next week.
That's our tease. That's our tease, right? And maybe we'll have the if I get them in, I'm gonna I'll set them aside and hold them since we have a short box. Next week we'll maybe crack open those that Savage She-Hulk and that Shazam book, and I think there's 1 or 2 other books that are coming back from. Oh, my ASM 300 is coming back. That would be good to do on here too, since we're doing the ASMs.
Blue label or yellow label?
Blue.
All right.
Did you not see the ASM 300? This is the book that belonged to my brother-in-law, that was lost. We got picked it up at the funeral, or when we went back for his funeral, picked it up and got put in the stuff we were bringing back. And my wife, obviously it's her brother. She kind of put stuff aside and didn't want to really think about it, and we completely forgotten about the book. And several years later, here we're cleaning cleaning up the corner of that corner of the house, and she comes around here. She's like, "Oh, you'll never guess what I just found," and presents me this ASM 300, and I'm just like, "Oh, no,
right.
boom!"
Wow.
So this is that book. So it's been laying around. It's moved across the country multiple times. It's been laying around. We'll find out what that grade is, along with opening up or going through this other box of ASM books next week on Slab Hub. Slab Hub. There I go with Slab Hub again. Slab. Hub. Oh my goodness. What else? What did you got coming up this week?
Well, at some point later today, I'm going to be releasing a video where I talk about a particular issue 181. You have to find out which issue, what book I'm talking about. Tomorrow, I'll be releasing two cool guys, two hot picks, where myself and Mark from Legion of Comics each give one hot book that most people should consider picking up this new comic book day. On Monday, I'll be having a Mystery Box Monday unboxing, and Wednesday, from my hot rod, it'll be new comic book day pickups.
Outstanding. I do have Monday. We'll have my Monday mail call. Thursday will be the Sidekicks Comics, and we'll be back here again on Saturday for Slab Hub. Until next time, guys, collect what you want. Don't listen to anybody, including me, because I'm just a fat man with a fat stack of comics and a fat opinion.